Welcome to
Dazed
and Review. Could you tell his thing was open already? Oh my lord. Knocking over my coins. Well, let's hope we actually upload this one by video.
Yes, last one we
ran out of storage.
Yeah, technical issues. But we are back.
What are you drinking today, Harry?
Better than ever. I'm drinking Desperado.
Same as last time?
Yeah. Was I drinking Desperado?
I think it was from a can last
that's
time.
why I didn't see. Cheers, good stuff.
Cheers, mate. I've gone for the Thatcher's Gold, you know. What was that? Oh, microphone stand falling apart.
Might need to upgrade our equipment.
But yeah, welcome to Dazed and Reviewed episode 3 now. God, we're getting through them. Another bit just fell off. I think it's just that bottom bit where it doesn't like it. I think we should be alright now. For those of you not watching, or if we don't end up uploading this.
Getting coasters, guys.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, for those of you... Yeah, I don't need one. Okay, hands on.
Do excuse the chair as well. We've sort of changed the layout, you see.
Yes, not that you'd know because we didn't upload the episode. But yeah, I've now moved out, so we're no longer in my parents' house and we're now in a flat.
Yes.
So slight different change of location. Maybe you'll get to see the old setup in the archival footage one day.
Some bonus features.
Yeah, if you buy the special edition Blu-ray of Dazed and Reviewed.
Buy our OnlyFans, we will post it on there.
I was gonna say like GoFundMe or whatever they're called, or Patreon.
Patreon, yeah, that's more like business.
Yeah, or OnlyFans does the job.
Yeah, Fansly.
So, what did we watch?
We watched 21 Jump Street.
21 Jump Street. My reason for watching this, I actually mentioned it to Harry at the end of episode 2, I think.
Yes.
Because Kanye West tweeted that watching Jonah Hill in this film made him like Jews again.
Is that what he said? I don't remember.
Along those lines. It's not like that's not like the full
gosh.
quote, but it's like along those lines. Yeah. Which, you know, it's a good performance, but I don't know if I'd say that. That's because I already like them, not not that it's unredeemable. But also I wanted to watch it because Magic Mike's was coming out, and that's obviously Channing Tatum, who is in this film.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of pop culture going on that made me want to rewatch this. I haven't seen it in a good few years.
Yeah.
It's one of the first adult comedies I watched. I actually...
when you were like 12? Was that...
When did Slender Man become a thing? Because...
It's like... Must have been primary. Well, the thing is, I thought...
It was definitely secondary.
Yeah. Because I remember My Name is Jeff going round, but that's number 2,
That's
isn't
the
it?
second, yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember specifically watching this for the first time the night I found out what Slender Man was. And my siblings were like, it's an urban myth, like he's apparently actually real, and they were playing the one on the iPhone.
That was a good game, to be fair.
I couldn't enjoy the film because the entire time I was watching it, I was looking behind me out the window, like, is Slender Man there? And then the entire night, I literally didn't sleep because I thought Slender Man was real.
He is real.
So that's a bit of context for you. And then I watched it again. Don't know when, and I've watched it multiple times since. Notes wise, we haven't gone too wild.
Well, I was going to say I've never actually seen the film up until now, which is another reason why we watched it. Is because
I was like, have you not seen Jump Street?
To the Jump Street franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I was also going to say, back to Kanye West.
Oh, God.
He's recently been blasted for.
I believe he actually just goes by Yee now.
Yay.
Yay. Sorry.
Yee. He had a party and he's like serving sushi of naked women. Bit of controversy.
Sounds like my kind of party.
It's actually an ancient Japanese tradition.
Well, I'd want naked men and women because diversity and everything, you can be what you want, but I feel like you might get a few hairs in your food if you served it off of me.
Well, and women, anyone that you can...
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, what was the plot to this film, Harry? Go on. I feel like I'm going to ask you this every time, and every time you're not going to know what to say.
It's about two guys. So they're actually in school together. One was the bully, one was the bullied. So Channing Tatum was the bully in this case. Jonah Hill. Bully.
Don't know if I'd say he was a bully, but it was very much the cool kid, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he beat him up all the time. Did he not? He was like pushing him about.
You see him push him about a little bit. You
Yeah,
don't
it's
see
a bit
him
of bullying.
Yeah. Well, for bullying to be a thing, it has to be a repeated thing.
Well, you only see like a snippet though. So
Yeah.
It could be a
the,
bully. Okay, maybe he's on the fence.
Yeah. But you can tell Channing Tatum's the cool kid. Jonah's the goon.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
So they both end up working for the police or applying for the police force, and they end up in the same class. Jonah's the brains, Channing Tatum's the muscle.
The brawn.
The brawn.
The brains and the brawn.
So they help each other out. So
Mm-hmm.
One's studying, one's getting fit, and then they go out on their first patrol on bikes, fight this biker gang.
I thought that bike scene was very Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright.
Like, Hot Fuzz.
Yes, yeah.
Like, it
I
was very
agree.
dramatic,
Yeah.
making a lot out of nothing. Yeah.
But I also think
Snap.
emphasises how much of a big deal it was to get out,
Yeah.
It's like their
They're literally like, are
drug
you ready
bust.
for a life of being badass motherfuckers?
And then
it cuts to them on their bikes. Yeah, so... And then what happens?
Do they arrest one of them?
They arrest one.
Because they
but
high five and they're like shouting at him.
And they start humping him. But he doesn't know his Miranda rights, so instead he says, you have the right to suck my dick, motherfucker.
And then they get in trouble.
Yeah.
Then they get put on a secret undercover thing called at 21 Jump Street. It's not called 21 Jump Street, is it? Or is it?
It's at 21
Yeah.
Jump Street. It's the Jump
Derelict
Street
church.
division.
And
Korean
then-
church.
It's a derelict church, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's also Korean.
Oh yeah, Korean.
It's got Korean Jesus.
Yeah. And then they go out and basically hunt down this new drug that is killing people, killing one guy.
People are overdosing, like HFS. I mean, no drugs are good. Obviously,
Don't do drugs, kids.
you just took a swig of a drug right there.
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
You know.
Hypocrite. I'd never do that. Yeah, and then on Jump Street, it's an undercover division.
Yeah.
They have to go back to high school and try and infiltrate the dealer, find the supplier.
Exactly.
That's the motto.
That's the storyline basically, isn't it?
Yeah, and then carnage ensues.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
why don't you read through some of your notes, Harry?
Yeah.
For those only listening, not watching, he just pulled out his hand.
Once upon a time.
So, first thing
Can I see your notes as well, actually?
4 lines of notes.
Yeah, so my first note is...
Well, the thing is, with the films we've watched so far, they've been things that I've seen a fair bit before, or like Drive, it's quite in depth. Incredibles, I've seen it a million times, so I could just sort of go along with it.
And like with Drive, you've got the cinematography as well. Like, there's a lot of like notable points, and I'm not saying this didn't have notable points, but because it's
a lot easier to just lay back and watch.
Yeah, it's sort of like a mindless watch. It's a funny mindless watch. It's not like a a dead film, a rubbish rom-com that you sort of sit there.
Yeah, it's not Adam Sandler, like modern Adam Sandler, like Happy Gilmore's banging, and Grown Ups maybe, but it's Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Yeah.
So before this, my timeline might be a bit jumbled, but I think they're done. Like main films, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs,
Banger.
which great film.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was them sort of getting into it a bit. I think, you know, they hadn't done a lot before. Then they did this. Then they went on and did the Lego Movie, and then obviously Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, which you still haven't seen. You scrub.
Monday, I reckon.
Yeah.
If you're around. If not, I'll go solo.
You gotta go alone, mate. But do you know what 21 Jump Street is originally?
A Korean church?
You're not far off. But it was where is the date? Oh, fuck's sake. I've disconnected my VPN, so now I can't load the photos. But basically, it was an 80s cop show.
Oh, so it was an actual thing.
That is why... it went from 1987 to 1991, 21 Jump Street, the TV show.
Yeah.
And essentially, when they have the meeting after they've done their first bust on the bikes, the chief, played by the guy that is Ron Swanson. It'll come back to me.
I'm bad with names.
Oh.
If I see an actor or actress, well, it's actor now.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, sorry, it's not me. I'm being inclusive. I can be like, oh yeah, it's them. But name to face is just like.
I know his name, but I cannot remember it. But he says they're bringing back an old police unit because they lack creativity, so they're recycling shit from the past. Which is what this film is.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I think Phil Lord and Chris Miller do very well, is take something a concept that you think is going to be terrible, such as a reboot of an old police show, a film about Lego, Into the Spider-Verse, like that could have gone very wrong, but they seem to just be able to really take it and
put a good spin,
make it something good, and it's very self-aware. You know, they sort of know that it's a reboot and they're sort of poking fun at it. And in the second one, they do it a lot more as well. And they're just like, it's the same thing, do the same thing again.
At the first film or the original, they're poking fun at?
Well, they're poking fun at the fact that it is a reboot of an old franchise.
Yeah.
Because he's saying, you know, they can't think of any original ideas, so they're just going to do the same thing again. And then obviously after the meeting, they head off to Jump Street. I like it when he's like, don't fuck no students, don't fuck no teachers, keep that dirty dick in your pants.
And what goes and happens?
Well, in the post-credit scene, if we're jumping all the way there, he does do it with the teacher, which is a bit naughty. That's against the code. But the film's over. I'm presuming he went back to the school and did that.
I don't think so. I think that's...
Was he in his school clothes? Do you know?
I don't. Do you? No?
Couldn't know.
I have to go back and watch it again.
What do you think of one strapping it?
One strapping?
The backpack.
Oh, yeah.
Because he says cool kids one strapper.
I wasn't a one strapper because I used to load my bag up with a load of crap.
Yeah.
You know, I had a heavy bag. If I one strapped that, I'd be walking wonky. You know, like a little limp in my
sinking into one side of the pavement.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like this now if I one strapped the whole my.
Yeah.
You know, for the 5 years at school. I'd be like this.
Well, I've actually got a wonky shoulder because my bag only has one strap.
Oh, did you have one of those over the shoulder?
Well, I've got one of those now, but I think I went when the super dry one strappers were in. I had one of those bad boys.
I
went for a
Adidas
rucksack for a while.
Like,
I know the Adidas one. Yeah,
just goes over here and you got like a little fake leather bag.
Yeah,
you know,
Indiana Jones style.
Yeah. Emmett Forrest.
Yeah, and I feel like I like the fact that they bring it up, that it sort of goes in and out of fashion.
Yeah.
Like, when I started secondary school, I feel like people were one-strapping it, and then everyone got the bags with one strap, and then it sort of went back to backpacks.
Yeah.
And
But then people like wear those bags over, and the cool way to wear it was the one strap on this side and the bag here.
Oh, what, like a handbag?
Yeah.
Just over the one shoulder.
Yeah, again, it makes you wonky, so sort of
less aerodynamic.
Yeah, exactly. But I used to be that kid that couldn't fit his PE kit in the rucksack, so I'd double strap and have it over the shoulder.
Would you wear the JD Sports bag? That's what everyone has.
No, I had that
kit.
Adidas one for years.
I had an Adidas one strapper as my PE kit.
That's mad.
It's just black and white.
Yeah.
Looking like a legend.
Yeah, exactly. What, did you have a backpack and a one strapper, or did you just like mix and match? Because I had both.
The one strapper
I must have looked like a
right goon.
Yeah, right goon. That's
well,
the word.
You had to like go on the bus, didn't you, with your backpack, your PE kit. If you had like art or graphics that day, you had your art kit with like paintbrushes and watercolors.
I was a 2-seater on the bus.
Yeah.
I was a bit of a chubby.
That was just because you
lad.
had no friends and no one wanted to sit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I had someone chuck fans from me once. I was just sat there and I was sat next to an old lady and she was like, "Say sorry to him now." And I was just like looking at. Yeah. Anyway.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I'm digressing.
Yeah, we sort of got off track from the movie. And then they go to school and they have a little cameo from, once again, I don't know his name, I do apologise. I didn't do much research for this. But he was in New Girl, and then he went on to be in another Phil Lord and Chris Miller
Who are you talking
production.
about?
The head teacher. And he's like, "I'm one gay kid from getting punched in the face from a mental breakdown right now." That guy. They meet him right at the start.
Yeah,
he's literally in a minute.
Yeah.
But he actually went on to be Spider-Man in Across the Spider-Verse. He's the fat one.
No spoilers. No,
not for the second one. This is Into the Spider-Verse.
You said Across.
I meant Into.
That's why I said
they've got similar names.
I don't trust you. You're gonna slip out a spoiler.
It's gonna fall out accidentally. But yeah, that's a nice little cameo. I remember my brother pointing that out because my sister watched a bit of New Girl, so he was like, "Oh, look at that." Quite a few famous faces in this.
Yes. What's his face?
Johnny Depp.
I forgot Johnny Depp's in it. That was the weirdest cameo I've ever seen.
Well, he was in the original one. Him and the other guy, they're the original cast of Jump Street.
Wow.
And the reason Johnny Depp's character is eating in every scene, I'm pretty sure. Most of the time it's peanut butter, I think. And that was because throughout the original series, he ate a lot, like whilst...
Well, peanut butter.
He wanted in the final season his character to just be eating peanut butter, but they said no. But he finally got his wish in the film because he's just constantly eating peanut butter. I don't know what the reason is behind it.
That's a little Easter egg as well. I suppose if you watch the series before you watch that, you had a little telltale that is.
I mean, I've never seen the series, so I don't know how much carries over.
Yeah.
I don't know if the car, that might be the original one they used.
Yeah.
Like in Starsky and Hutch, in the remake, they used the same car. Have you seen that?
No.
Add it to the list. But yeah, that's another good reboot sort of thing. So yeah, I don't know how much carries over, but yeah, that was a nice surprise seeing Johnny Depp.
That I had absolutely no idea, and you sort of knew it was coming up, and I was mind blown.
Well,
I was so mind blown.
This sort of leaks into what I was going to say later during my fun facts segment.
Spoiled it.
21 Trivia Street. But his face makeup and disguise was so good on Johnny Depp that he went up to Brie Larson, who plays the main girl.
Yeah.
And he introduced himself, and she didn't realise it was him until later, and she was like, "Oh, he was saying my name's Johnny." And then she saw it later and was like, that's Johnny Depp. But to be fair, Johnny Depp has his face feels very versatile to me. Like Jack Sparrow and Willy Wonka.
Yeah, and even
nothing alike.
Crimes of Grindelwald or
Yeah.
Fantastic Beasts. You know, he looks.
I ain't seen it.
He looks really different.
I'm only up to Prisoner of Azkaban.
You've only watched 2 Harry Potters.
I've got the box set down there, but
Blimey.
no, Prisoner of Azkaban isn't the second.
That's the second one.
It's like the fourth.
That's the second. It's
Check your Harry Potter knowledge, mate.
Right, we're getting the box.
Look, it's right there.
Here.
Yeah,
Prisoner of Azkaban, number 2, mate.
it is not.
Oh yeah, it's number 3. Sorry.
There you go.
Oh, I can't believe I forgot
There
Chamber of
you
Secrets.
go.
That was my favourite for years.
But then in like,
That wasn't me. That was like
no, it was already unstuck.
Praise the Lord.
But then he looks completely different as well in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Like he's bald in that.
Yeah.
And
what film was he in recently that I saw? I can't remember.
recent Johnny Depp film.
No, I saw him in something recently, but I can't remember what it was. Anyway.
But yeah, he's very good at disguising his face, I feel.
Yeah.
Like he can do it well.
Yeah.
And I guess it's down to acting as well. Like you don't recognise the voice.
Yeah, if he can
Like,
embody the character.
yeah.
I feel like he's very good at
Yeah.
channeling.
He probably composes himself before a scene. I mean,
Yeah.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, he has to pretend he's on all sorts of drugs and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he has to act quite a bit in that and probably
I feel like
sweat.
someone who doesn't do that. You know, actors can actually force themselves to sweat. I thought that was. I found that out the other day. Some of them can just do it.
So it's not like Dash in last time's episode where they made him run around the studio to sound out of breath.
Yeah, that's a voice actor. I don't even need to. But yeah, apparently some actors can just like fake crying. They can fake sweat, which I thought was mad.
I've never heard of fake sweating.
Yeah,
That's weird.
do a lot of things. I was gonna say something before this.
Go on.
Oh god.
We'll have to
It's
crop
gone.
this out.
It's gone. No, I'm not cropping it out. It'll come to me. No, I won't. I can't think of it.
Um,
I'm gonna listen to it back editing and be like, oh yeah,
that's what I was gonna say.
So I started and then I digressed to sweat. So no, well.
Everyone's favourite topic,
Yeah.
sweat.
Oh,
I very much enjoyed the scene where they do the HFS, and they go through the stages that you see earlier in the film.
I loved when they show the video of the kid doing it because it's like stage 1, and then like stage 2,
And then there's like tripping major ball sack,
Yeah,
overconfidence, fuck yeah, motherfucker. That's a good stage. But yeah, like when they're talking to the teacher and they're on drugs, and his face turns to like an ice cream cone, and they're both like licking their lips at him, and he's like, "Stop that!"
Isn't that the PE teacher who sells it?
He's the
The supplier.
infiltrate the deal. He's the supplier. Yeah, he makes it.
Oh yeah, and then the other guys are gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. That's
Yeah.
mad. He must have known they were on it, surely.
Well, at the end, he's like, "Are you guys on drugs?" And they're like, "No." Like being back at school, eh?
Nah.
And-
You know.
And then yeah, they just go ham in all their classes, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Which then gets Jonah Hill's character a link into the cool kids,
Yeah.
and then he buys them Taco Bell, and there's no going back from that apparently.
I do love that they got the names the wrong way round at the start, so then one had to do the other ones.
One of them
sort
stuck
of
like Schmidt, who is Jonah Hill's character, who is Doug. So you've got to remember the actor's name, their undercover name, and their actual name in the film. Which Doug or Schmidt or Jonah, he ends up doing athletics, drama, stuff like that, and then Channing Tatum's character, who Jenko,
Is that his name?
and
I can't remember, so don't ask me. I haven't got a Scooby.
Doug McQuaid, and I cannot remember his undercover name, but yeah, I like how they get mixed up, and he's stuck in science class with the kids dueling Bakugan and stuff.
Yeah, but then he gets involved. That's what I love
Yeah.
as well. You know, sort of.
Well,
roles.
it reverses the roles of what
Yeah.
they were actually in high school, which
Could be a juxtaposition.
I think it's to show the generational gap, actually.
Yeah.
How times change between what's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's also valid. But
I used up one of my notes there mentioning Bakugan, so I just want to pedal back to it a bit because that's Bakugan. A quarter of my notes.
Well, Bakugan.
That's.
Oh yeah, you've only got 4 notes. So yeah. And that's a one worder like what I do. So you know.
A one-er.
One-er.
But Bakugan. What?
I had the Bakugan where you roll it and then you could add loads of bits so it transformed. Mate, I was into it. I was into it big time. I had one this big.
And I remember seeing them in stores and being like, I really want one of them.
Mate.
But I literally had one Bakugan.
I had the arena.
I borrowed it off a friend.
I had the arena. I used to play it loads with some of my mates.
They were so cool.
And the first time I got the big one out, I hid it and I didn't let them know. I sort of sat on it. And then I was like, time to play my trump card. I thought I was so cool, and I just pulled this big ball out, rolled it, knocked all theirs off, and it pops up this massive Bakugan. I felt like the coolest kid in the world. That moment was like a
nuke
highlight.
Going on.
Yeah, it was. It's like clears the field, instant win. Lovely.
Yeah, I unfortunately never got into Bakugan. I wanted to, but my family was like, it's a waste of money.
I had the DS game, and I'll tell you what, I grinded that out. I completed it twice, and I had like the best Bakugan you could get, leveled it up to max, mate. That was a banger.
Didn't even know there were games.
Yeah, you when you roll it, you could like control it with the stylus and move it around the board, collect power ups, and then you land on your card. Mate, it was
I'm
something
out.
else.
I'll have to get it on the old R4 card. Don't arrest me.
No, my granddad bought me one of those.
I feel like everyone's granddad bought him one of those.
I was just so on Pokemon, I could walk through walls and stuff.
Oh, no, I never cheated on Pokemon.
Really?
Well, I got to the end and then cheated and got like...
Well, yeah, you got to complete the game first.
Yeah, do it normal. So yeah, Bakugan. I was more of a Pogs guy.
Pogs?
Thin discs of like cardboard and you threw a big chunk of plastic at them, or Go-Go's.
Yeah, Go-Go's. I was going to say Go-Go's as well.
Yeah, they were a bit of a craze. Ones. I feel like they're just the sort of thing that gets banned at the school, aren't they? Like we had Yu-Gi-Oh cards for a bit, but some guy got all theirs stolen, and
really?
they were like, no more Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
In primary school, we had a Yu-Gi-Oh club.
Really?
Primary school.
They supported it.
Yeah, primary school.
They supported the addiction,
mate. And then I went to like the local Saturday market. And I bought this box of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Turns out they're like all fakes. And I whipped out this card that just like didn't make any sense. And it's like, if you draw this card, you instant win the game. Like it's just like one card. So I just put it down.
Did you have the?
Everyone used to hate. No, I didn't go that far.
My brothers had an arm PC.
I felt like that was so cool that you just like when it pops out.
Yeah, if you pull that out in the club, guaranteed. Honestly,
easy win.
Pull out the Uno reverse out of that. Woo. You're ready to roll.
Yeah, just mix and match like different.
I've got Yu-Gi-Oh, I've got Pokemon.
Bakugan.
Yeah. Shooting your balls out of it. And then we really should have taken more notes.
Yeah, we were just talking about Bakugan.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a quarter of the notes.
Pokemon next.
The episode.
That'll be going on for about an hour.
I was watching that the other day.
I saw you sent me a Snapchat. Was it Indigo League?
Is that the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a fan of Johto, whilst we're on the subject.
Yeah.
Johto, yeah.
See, I quite liked Pokemon Platinum. That was a banger. Like Gen 4,
Giratina.
5. Yeah, that was good.
Oh, yeah.
And then Pokemon Black was a banger. I think as soon as they went 3D, they sort of went off the plot.
Wasn't as fun.
Yeah. It's just like a different vibe now, you know? Open world game.
Doesn't cut it.
Doesn't have the charm.
Yeah. So, 21 Jump Street, the film we watched.
Ash Ketchum. And
yes. What's another bit I very much enjoy of that film? Anything you can think of? Anything you want to bring up?
I'll tell you what. I like the whole film.
It's a great film.
It is a good film. It's a very good film. I know that we sort of might be a shorter episode, and I know we're sort of digressing, but it is a film we just
jazz now.
Yeah, jazz night. Yeah. Go out.
Get it over and done with. Get Pimmies. Get jazz night.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a film you can just chill and watch. To be honest,
it's really good. the party scene. I love it when they go into when they're like, "How are we gonna get booze? We don't have a fake ID," and they just run out the store with loads of drink. Sort of reminded me of Superbad. Because Jonah Hill in that he gets the fake. Well, McLovin gets the fake ID or Fergal. Fogel.
Yeah.
But in that, he goes in and he's like, I'm just going to steal all the booze. But in this, he just runs out with a shopping cart. And then they're like, how are we going to get drugs? Straight in the evidence locker. They go for the coke. And he's like, half a gram of coke or whatever. He's like,
just hands it out.
He's like, we want to show these guys a good time, not ruin their lives. So then they just go and get a big old bag of herb, which is so good. And fun fact, once again, because I've got so few notes, I'm dipping into my fun facts.
Yeah.
They were at Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill were actually drunk for the party scenes.
Really?
Yeah.
They method acted, just sort of knocked a couple back.
Yeah.
They do it for Rick and Morty, don't they? The guy.
Yeah. Well, if he's still allowed on it, Justin Roiland.
I didn't know that there's been.
He was talking to some kids, I think, something like that. But they've said they've recast it, but I don't know because he did Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I didn't realise that.
Andy was like a.
I haven't actually watched it either. So.
Season 1 to 3, so good.
How many seasons are there?
I don't know, there's like 6 now. Okay. But they just got a bit too wild with it, I think. Like, tried to do it too quick.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's good ones sprinkled in there. But
I quite like the group of nerds. I feel like, the relationship between Channing Tatum and the nerds, I think that's really cool. Because
at first you can tell he's like, oh, these are just... Well, when they're walking from the car through the car park, they're like, those are nerds, those are goths. Don't know what the fuck those are. Just once again shows that generational gap, I guess. But he at first... He clearly doesn't want to be part of it, but then he sees them just blowing up stuff, like all the chemicals and everything.
Hacking phones
and
all sorts.
And they're like, we're dealing Bakugan, once again, jumping back to Bakugan. He's like, is that drugs? Yeah, that's really good.
Did he get some of those prostitutes, doesn't he?
Was it Crystal and Cinnamon from the police station?
Yeah.
They're there with them at prom. Which
that's it. It gets a lady.
They had real doves on set, but they had to use CGI ones in the scene.
Oh really?
Yeah, don't know why.
Animal safety.
I think they probably just didn't fly the right way that they wanted them to be honest, mate.
Yeah. They're quite unpredictable, aren't they?
Yeah. But at the party, jumping back to that, they play Party Rock Anthem.
The only good song for a party. That's how you just kick a party off.
What was that, 2011, 2010?
And that was the highlight. I made my own mind, and I know it is the next best song, I think.
Do you remember they had the robot guy in all the videos?
Yeah.
When I was in about year 5, I was going to buy the robot guy's head.
What, for like an expensive bit of money?
You could buy it for like £100, I think. Ooh. And I was like, I want the LMFAO robot guy head.
You can get it now. You got adult money.
I don't know if they still sell it.
Limited.
I feel like LMFAO have sort of...
Ooh.
Have they broken up? Probably.
I've only seen the guy with the... They've both got glasses.
I know the one you mean.
Like animal print.
Yeah, he's... Red Foo or something. I think that's his name. I don't know. But and then the film goes on, and eventually they get expelled, which it's the classic police story, isn't it? Like the same with Hot Fuzz, same with Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah.
They've got the case.
They're following the same.
They get fired from it.
Yeah.
And then they break up. And then they come back together because they're like, oh, we got to solve the case.
Yeah, I've got this itch in me. I just got to...
Which they actually make fun of in Community.
Oh, really? Because, of this specific film or just in general?
The whole genre in general. Yeah, he's like, we've got to break them up and then they'll come back together and then they'll solve the case.
Yeah. Even the Zodiac has that, and that's like quite a psychological thriller.
Zodiac?
Film. Yeah, it's got Mark Ruffalo.
I was thinking of... I think maybe Don't Mess with the Gemini. Adam Sandler film.
Oh no, Zodiac's like a.
Don't mess with the Zohan. That's it. That's what I was thinking.
I recognise the name. I don't think I've seen it. Oh, maybe I have. I've seen a lot of.
I haven't seen it, but
samey sort of.
And Zodiac is a ride at Fort Park.
Yes, it is.
For any of you locals, not going to give away exactly where we live, but
you from Vietnam, you have to come here and find out. We know you've listened to
our
the
one
other two
listener
episodes.
from Vietnam.
Yeah, both episodes. They
might just
tuned
have a
in.
VPN.
Nah. I'm gonna keep praying that.
Yeah, write in. We want to know.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Message us. We'll
good morning,
send
Vietnam.
you a prize.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah. He can feature on it. They can feature on an episode.
Yeah.
And then eventually, so they get expelled, but they're like, we're going to prom. And by then, they've learnt their Miranda rights. They're reading them in the mirror, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he practices it. They have a little fallout as well, don't they?
Yeah. Because of my pinata is killing me.
And over the girl as well.
Because obviously Jonah... Well, you feel for Jonah, don't you? You feel for them both. Because obviously Jonah / Schmidt / Doug... he's
living the dream he wanted to have.
It was what he wanted in high school.
Yeah.
And even before they go on the assignment, he prays to Korean Jesus. Just, I don't know how I'm going to do this. It was so hard the first time. And, you feel good for him because he's with the cool kids. But then he's bad-mouthing his brother.
And he hears it, doesn't he?
And he hears it, yeah. And it's, you see both sides of the coin. Because obviously, during high school, he was horrible to...
Yeah.
He was horrible to Schmidt.
Yeah.
So, you can't really fault him for falling in love with the girl. And
no, but it's also weird.
He can't have
he's
sex
a lot
with
older.
her, though.
He's a lot older as well.
He's not allowed sex with her due to the captain's orders.
Yeah. He doesn't, does he? It's just Channing Tatum.
It's just Channing Tatum with the teacher, which, fair game.
Yeah.
She's in The Office.
Is she?
Yeah, the US Office.
I've only seen 3 episodes of that.
Brilliant.
It is good.
Better than the UK one.
I think, is there the episode where it's racial awareness?
Yeah.
I've seen that one.
That's episode 2.
Yeah. Well, 3 I've first seen the first 3 episodes.
Yeah. But, and then they go to prom.
That's good.
I don't really remember our prom, if I'm honest.
No, because we had to leave early.
I
was your taxi, yeah. All the teachers were he has to go at 8, and it finishes at 11, half 11, 12. So
that was a busy night.
Yeah, well,
it's because we watched Superbad. I blame that.
You lost your phone. It was actually in my car.
Oh really?
Yeah. Do you not remember?
No.
So yeah, we got back. You were like, "Where's my phone? Where's my phone?" And I was like, "Oh, we'll find my iPhone up." But to get you to get your password for Find My iPhone on your laptop took about an hour. And then eventually when we got it, it was just outside, and I was like, I can't be bothered to look outside now, it's too dark, I'm going to look in the morning.
Is that when we got home and the pizza man was at the door?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was all...
Big night.
An interesting night.
Yeah. Fun times.
Night.
And then, But, overall, I'd say this film, I'm going to give it a stamp of 8 out of 10, I reckon.
Yeah, I think for comedies, I'd give it about an 8.
I feel like comedies you have to lower the bar, don't you, a bit?
Yeah.
But then you also get some amazing ones like Dazed and Confused and.
But that's like a lifestyle.
Yeah, a coming of age.
Story.
I believe that's what they call it.
What a film.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, do you want to know some fun facts?
Yes, I do. I haven't scored it yet. I was going to say 8 out of 10.
Score.
For I don't know, overall score, it's a good watch, but I'd say 6.5.
Really?
I really enjoyed it, but it's not like a film I'd go back.
You wouldn't be dashing back.
It's not like Incredibles. I could happily watch that loads of times. I could watch this maybe once a year.
I think
I really enjoyed it.
I might prefer 22 Jump Street.
Really? All I know from that is My Name is Jeff, but that's it.
So, I mean, maybe Channing Tatum had the same idea as you, because he actually passed on the movie twice before Jonah Hill convinced him to take the role. Which is weird, because after this film, I see Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill as a duo. Like, in the Lego movie, they're Superman and Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like... And they're both in This Is the End.
That's a good film.
We watched that on the coach, didn't we?
Yeah,
On the road skiing.
When they fly up with the halos, that's a good film.
Something I found quite weird, finding out about this, Jonah Hill lost over £40 for his role.
Blimey.
But they make fun of him for being fat in this film.
That's mad.
So I think maybe this is sort of the thing that spurred him to lose a load of weight, because he's quite skinny in, is it like Psycho or whatever it's called, that Netflix one with Emma Stone. He's really skinny in that. And he's proper put himself together, you know, not that he needed to.
Yeah, he's very sick of... I saw an interview and it's like he's very sick of being the fat guy.
Yeah, and they're all like, what's it like just being the fat guy every time? And you can tell it's like cutting him down to the soul. It's like,
it bothers him. And
people are horrible to him.
There was a period where he was posting a load of Instagram posts, like saying, you know, listen, that's not me. I am who I am, and that's what I want to be in a film.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't want to be known as this guy, and that's what everyone would call him.
We haven't mentioned Captain Dixon. What did you think of him?
Captain Dixon.
Ice Cube.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he does really good. Well, plays it really well. Is what I was trying to say.
Well, I think that's because Jonah Hill actually wrote the part for him with Ice Cube in mind, and I mean, you get all of the, you know, Bad Boys, probably Starsky and Hutch again. All the police films, they have that pissed off captain, but he just takes it to another level. He even mentions it. He's like, sometimes I get angry, so suck a dick. Which, honestly, he's one of the best characters in it, I think, if not the best. And there's a good dynamic with him in the second one.
Is there? No spoilers.
Honestly, like, so funny.
Really?
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
The drama teacher, he mentions, one time I was doing cocaine with Willie Nelson's horse. That was originally about doing cocaine with Whitney Houston's niece. But then Whitney Houston died.
Oh dear.
So they couldn't use the line, he changed it to the horse. So the pictures on their wall, Schmidt and Janko's wall.
Yeah. It's all him as a kid, isn't it?
That's actually their real child photos.
Oh, really?
So I wonder how Jonah Hill's parents felt about someone drawing a throwing up aeroplane / ejaculating penis into his childhood mouth.
It's an aeroplane.
It's an aeroplane
How dare
throwing
you?
up. It's an aeroplane
How
throwing
dare
up.
you? Yeah. I mean, I feel like just who Jonah is and like his comical sort of background, they wouldn't be too bothered. But even so, it is their son that is being graffitied on.
At the end of the day, it's quite funny.
Everlasting.
It's quite funny.
Yeah. I'm playing devil's advocate.
And my final fact, because I used them all in the main bit.
Yeah.
And because I need a wing. Jonah Hill actually looked like that in high school.
Really?
Like with the
Slim Shady look.
The Slim Shady, yeah. He said,
I love that they play that at the start.
Yeah. And not so Slim Shady. But yeah, he actually wanted to look like Eminem when he was a high schooler.
That's mad. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Please stand up.
Please stand up. Any final thoughts? Any food for thought? I don't know how long.
Great
we've
film.
been going, but
If you haven't seen it, I'd definitely recommend it. You know, being the first time I've watched it, but you know, it's just like it's a Jonah Hill film.
It's a good comedy.
Yeah, it is good, and you can just sit down, watch it, have a great laugh.
It's not quite like Hot Fuzz levels of like good cinematography and like stuff.
So I feel like there's a bit of like, I don't know, not intellect, but you know, there's like a little extra step.
Yeah, it's not your sit down and watch it like a who does terrible films.
Me.
Yeah,
A Dog's Life.
Something like I don't know, like American Pie, like where it's.
Yeah.
I mean, the first one's good, but then the
I
other
haven't seen
ones are. You haven't seen American Pie. The first one of American Pie is good, but the other ones, it's very much, by the numbers, it's comedy, penis. But this is, it's got a bit of sophistication to it. It's a good time all round, really. Like, if you don't go in expecting a masterclass in film, a Scorsese or whatever he is.
Yeah, well, it's not meant to be that. It's meant to be just something.
It is what it's meant to be.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
it fills its boots.
And I think that really disappoints me in the fact that Phil Lord and Chris Miller were supposed to write Solo, a Star Wars story.
Really?
They were the original writers.
Wow.
I don't know how much of what they did they kept in, but I definitely think that would have been something they could have tackled, because as we mentioned earlier, they can sort of jump on a film that you think is conceptually going to be awful, and then it ends up being really good.
Yeah.
So I think Solo would have been a lot better with their involvement.
Yeah, I think Solo was too sort of like filling stuff that they mentioned about Han Solo.
Yeah, it's like this is how he got the name. This is how he got his gun. This is how he got his trousers. Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. Yeah,
they just ticked all the boxes that. Anyway,
that film perplexes me. Maybe we'll cover it one day.
They've got good props in that, and good.
You love yourself some props.
Yeah, I did study it.
So, what are we doing next, Harry? What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I did mention to you earlier Django. I was scrolling through Instagram Shorts, and it just like popped up, and
we won't be able to quote that one much.
No. My brother looked at me. I was like, I might say to Adam about watching this. Is like, you're not going to quote much from that film, are you?
Yeah, you can't. No. You got to watch your lips. But I've only seen it once.
I've only seen it once, but I was like,
it was a year or so ago.
Up there,
I really enjoyed it. My dad always shows me bits of it, so I'm definitely up for it. But our track record will end up being like, let's watch Into the Spider-Verse. I still haven't got it. Still haven't seen it.
But we didn't actually drink 2 drinks this time around. I'm quite disappointed. Well, what is this? Hey?
You can get another one if you want.
Yeah, after.
For the walk.
Yeah, for the
jazz,
walk. BTS. If you pay our Patreon, you'll
you get the live stream if you pay the Patreon. So give us a follow on Instagram. I'm gonna pull up the username now because I cannot remember what it is. It is just Dazed and Reviewed, all one word, _podcast.
Yeah.
Give us a follow. You'll find out when all the new episodes are coming out. Maybe get a bit of behind the scenes on our stories.
If you love the content, please ping us a message. I know it's sort of like, messaging these guys is a bit weird, but we'd love to know what you think, all the positives and negatives.
Just comment on when we post that we upload a new episode. Tell us what you liked, what you don't like, what you want us to do next. Always happy to take recommendations as long as it's not Frozen.
Frozen 2. We'll watch that next time.
I've never seen it, and I don't want to. I'm not going into the unknown.
Into the unknown. That was pretty good. That was quite quick.
Thank you. A little segue. We're not doing Frozen 2 next time, I can guarantee.
What about
that.
Frozen the horror film? That's good.
I mean,
on the way to the ski trip,
with the ski lift.
On like year 10 ski trip, they're like, "Oh guys, we're gonna put Frozen on for you." It just come out like the animated.
Disney
we're
one,
like, "No, mate, no." Like, it's an all boys school, and then all of a sudden this Frozen film comes up where they're like stuck on a bloody ski lift.
That's a good film,
mate.
I mean,
I had nightmares.
I'd very happily watch Frozen, the Disney one, purely so I can just list through everything. That would be our longest episode ever of just everything I don't like about that film. I'd rather watch Wreck-It Ralph, to be honest. That's way better Disney film.
That's a good film.
Yeah.
That's a good film.
But thank you all for listening, or watching. If your phone's still alive or has memory, and we've actually uploaded it this time.
Yeah.
Hit up the TikTok, which is probably just the same as the Instagram.
I don't have TikTok, so I don't know what this guy
You were the one that
posts on
told
there.
me to get TikTok.
Yeah, I told you to get TikTok.
I got TikTok because you told me to follow
and then I
it,
removed it, and then you were sending me loads of stuff.
I'm still sending you stuff, and I'm like, you haven't liked my TikToks.
And I don't have it. I didn't have it for about 4 months, so sorry.
Yeah, I'm not going to make this outro too long because I need a wee.
We always make them long as well.
we always just ramble. We don't want it to end. That's the longest part.
Anyway,
But yeah,
we'll see you next time.
farewell.
Thanks for listening. Bye.